Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's Women Winning Wednesday night call. My name is Chanel Burt. I'm a senior vice president as well as ACN Influencer, and I want to welcome each and every one of you to this call as we host it every single Wednesday night to be used as a platform to hear from some phenomenal women all over the world of ACN that have earned the position of now regional coordinator or above, where we can hear their story as well as their training so that we can help empower, encourage, and equip more women to rise through the ranks of the ACN opportunity. These young ladies, man, they are so awesome, okay? But this call is really to help more women go from regional coordinator to regional director, RVP, gold, platinum, and eventually senior vice president. And I'm so excited that I get to host this call every single week. I'm telling you, when I make that call to the guest speaker on a Wednesday, I don't know, like the reaction just makes me even more excited and so blessed that I get to host this and share this call with you guys so that you can hear from all these women that we typically wouldn't get to hear from unless we were working with them personally on a company-wide call or at an international convention. And speaking of which, I know you guys are fired up to be going to Oklahoma City, March 18th and 19th. I know you guys are registered, right? I know you're not just registered yourself, but you are getting people registered to go because you don't know what they're going to see, what they're going to hear that may just not just change their ACN business, but absolutely change the course of their entire life. So I'm fired up about the event, and the co-founders have told us that this event is going to be like nothing we have ever seen. Okay, so for those of you that have attended a live event before, they are saying that we haven't even seen what's going to take place in Oklahoma City. So I can't wait to see all of our ACN family. This is going to be like a big family reunion. And for those of you that have just been strictly Zoom-based building your business, I can't wait for you to see a bigger picture of what you really are part of. For you to have all four co-founders at this event, it's going to be insane. Okay, so make sure you are getting people registered. You don't just start with you, and continue to build your business. When brand new people get started, you should be promoting this event because this is really going to lock them in even more as well. Okay, so I'm excited about the event. I'm excited about this call every single Wednesday, guys, because the stories and the training that you hear are absolutely life-changing at times. This call is led by women, so you will always hear a woman speaker, but it is for everyone. So make sure you are promoting this call to men as well. And, make sure you're telling everyone to just log in. I know it's at 10 p.m. We do this because of the West Coast, but make sure you are telling people, set their alarms. This call is every single week unless I cancel it. Okay, you will know if it's canceled early on that Wednesday. But guys, I am so excited that we get to have the young lady that's going to be speaking today. I get to see her a lot because I don't work with her. I'm not going to say personally, but she is a part of our organization. And I've watched this young lady just develop into a tremendous leader. She's a regional coordinator today, but there's some people in the business where you're just literally waiting for the paperwork to catch up. I know she will be one of the next regional vice presidents in all of ACN. And she's just an expert at what she does. And she brings her work ethic to the table every single day. I see her attend every single event. It doesn't matter where it's located, she's going to be there. So I'm excited that you guys get to hear from her this evening. And I'm going to turn the call over to none other than Regional Coordinator, Ms. Kirby Wilson. Thank you so much for being on tonight's call.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Bird. Am I coming through clearly?
You sound perfect.
Okay, thank you. So you guys, let me tell you about when I got that call today. I looked at it for it probably rang like 4 times because I had Mrs. Bird's number saved. And I just was looking at it and I was in shock. I'm like, oh, dummy, answer the phone, So I was like, this is, and then she said, hi, are you busy? I'm like, not anymore. So, I'm just super honored to be on this call, and I have so much respect for Mrs. Bird and the Birds and our entire coalition leadership. So thank you for having me on the call. I've been waiting for this moment. I was just waiting to get, RD. I'm like, I'm gonna make it to that call. and I've just been documenting my journey. So like Mrs. Burt said, I am a regional coordinator in ACN, but I really an SVP. So an SVP in progress is what I like to say. So I'm well on my way. I'm known for making up positions in ACN. Like she said, the paperwork hasn't caught up yet, but I know who I'm growing into be. I know that I'll be a leader in this company, and I'm hoping that somebody will get some value from what I'm sharing today. So what I'm going to do, I do have my background is in education, just to give you a little bit about me. Like she said, my name is Kirby Wilson, and I I got started in the North Carolina marketplace. And what I have right here is like how it got started. I like to tell my story because, like I said, the educator in me has to have I have to have a planning, like a plan, so I can make sure I get all the information out there, right? So this is how it started. 222 11 is when I got started in ACN. So 22222 made 11 years for me. And that's like a long time to become a regional coordinator. But if you stick with me and watch my journey, you'll see how it doesn't matter how long it takes you. It's more so about who the person you become along the journey. So sometimes people can get in the business and become an RVP in 2 minutes. Sometimes it can take people a little bit longer. But if you've heard of a crock pot mentality versus a microwave and that type of mindset, just call me I'm a slow cooker, okay? But I'll share my journey as I go along. Now, this person to the left here, or maybe on your right, but this person to the left is Mr. Marshall Nickelberry. This is these are my mentors in the business. So let me start in the middle first. People are like, who is that? This person right here is who introduced me to ACN. So this is my friend Mia, who was my sponsor. And you probably haven't seen her before, so I don't know by a show of hands how many people your sponsor got in the business but may not have stayed in the business. You know, they might have gotten you started, but may have gotten their bonus and however it may have happened. Well, Mia got started and she was excited. She went to a convention. She called me at like 5 p.m. and I showed up. Back in the day before Zoom, we actually had to go into a house meeting or a home meeting. And Mia was out of breath when she called me. And I'm like, girl, what is wrong with you? So long story short, she had just left an event and she invited me. I'm thinking I'm going to buy some Mary Kay or something. But little did I know she was the answer to my prayer. I had literally been praying for ACN for something. I didn't know it was ACN, but I was praying for something. I had 2 degrees and a whole lot of debt, you know? So I was praying for something. I just didn't know that it was ACN. And then she introduced me to these 2 people right here. This is Miss Tiffany Nickelberry. Now, Mia had stopped the business, like she had her bonus and left, right? But it's okay because I learned through growing in the business that Mia was actually sent, because I believe this, and I'm a Christian, that God sometimes will use people to get you to where you're trying to get, right? And I believe that God sent her in my life because he knew what I was praying for, and she brought this to me. So I thank God for her for showing this to me. And you never know who's thanking God for you because you're showing them the business. So long story short, she introduced me to Mrs. Tiffany Nickelberry to show me how to do this business and show me everything about leadership. And this was our first event. And I've been rocking with her ever since. And this is her husband, Mr. Nickelberry, who taught me to stop saying the word try. I used to say that a lot. I used to say try. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Mr. Nickelberry, he literally would look at me like a kid looks at, like a mother looks at a kid when they made a mistake. And I removed that word from my vocabulary. So your mentors are someone who have been placed in your life to really lead you to the next season, right? And like I said, I'm in the North Carolina marketplace, and I got started for a few reasons. If you can see here, I'm not sure. This right here is basically a graduation cap. Like I said, I was in a lot of student loan debt from living in Virginia and attending school in North Carolina. So I knew a lot about Sallie Mae and direct loan. That's why I got started in the business. And these 2 people right here, these are my parents. And nobody really knows this about me, but I was adopted at the age of 3. So my parents had already had their children. They were done raising their children. And it was a situation where, I was put up for adoption. And these are the people who took me on, and they gave me the life that I could never have imagined. So I'm forever indebted to them, and I want to provide for them and their latter days like they did for me when they didn't have to do it. So my why is really, really strong because that's why I got in the business. Sallie Mae, direct loan, and my parents, right? So it's not really about money. The money is just the flesh, right? All right. So, and I just want to kind of share, I'm going to share my story as I share leadership too, because it kind of coincides. And it says the journey. What does it take to succeed in this business? This is what I've learned through the years. And I've learned that life carries us in seasons. If you see this lady right here, this is Lisa Nichols. This is one of the top personal development individuals in the world. She's actually Steve Harvey's coach. And I went to a workshop with her, and absolutely, she does a transformational leadership training, and it absolutely blew my mind. And that's what kind of had a lot to do with me wanting to go into leadership and grow into a person who can lead others. And it says right here, you don't reap your harvest in the same season that you sow your seed. And I think that's got a lot to do with my business. And you know, I've grown a lot of relationships. I've built a lot of relationships, but sometimes you feel like you may be building and maybe nothing's happened. But that's only because you're just it's a process. This is a whole process. And like I said, life will carry you into seasons. There's a DO season, the due, so they all say do, right? But it's different versions of do. The due season is when you define your purpose. Who am I? What am I doing? What am I here for? You know, you go through that. I mean, I probably went through that like college, high school, you know, maybe trying to figure out what am I here for? What am I meant to do? And then there's the due season, the DUE season. That's where you go through the process. And guess what? This is going to be the hardest season. This is going to be the season where you're tested the most. This is going to be the season that's hard. This is basically the season when a diamond gets the pressure applied to it. It's probably going to be the toughest season in your life. And then this is the last season is the due season, the DEW season. That's your season of grace. That's where everything you touch turns to gold. That's where you're prospering. That's where when people are coming to you, people are asking you about the business. People are wanting to be your customer. That's the season that I feel like I'm in right now because I planted a lot of seeds and I'm ready to reap my harvest. All right, so let's go to the next one. And if you're taking notes, just pay attention to the top of the words or the underlined words because that's what it's really going to take to build this business. So the first one is sold out, or the capital S. And the key to being an ACN, I know they say this all the time, you got to get the services. I was like an ACN billboard, right? I had signs, posters, banners. I had the video phone. Most people don't even know what that is. I had 2 video phones. And it's like I had everything a part of my business because I knew that was a part of me making sure that I believed in me and what I was doing. So why would others support you if you don't support you? Why would they be your customer if you won't be your own customer? Like, what is the reason for that? You know? So it's okay to be the ACN person because guess what? People are watching you to see how serious you are. Do you know 11 years later, people still ask me if I do the phone thing? And do you know how many people are shocked when I tell them yes? Because they were waiting for me to quit. You know, that's sad, right? Because that's what most people do. But then I believed in the proven system. I believed in the training and the support and the mentorship of this business. And that's why I've stayed in so long. And because I go to events, okay? And I have long-term vision. You know, I didn't get an ACN to try something. I got an ACN to take care of my kids' kids that I don't even have yet because I'm thinking generationally. That's why I got in the business, you know? So be sold out and most importantly, attend events. I know we push this all the time, but if I hadn't went to my first event, then guess what? I would have quit. If I hadn't got into the system, if I hadn't have saw the environment, let me tell you, be honest, I'm a single woman. I went to my first event and I called my best friend, one of my best friends, who was my coworker at the time. And I said, listen, I looked around. Now we're in a stadium here in Charlotte. In the Time Warner Cable Arena, that's what it was. It's called the Spectrum Center now. Close to 20,000 people. I'm a single woman looking around at all these men in tailored suits, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna do this. But it was really bigger than that. But it's basically what happened to me at that event is I not just looked at the. I mean, it looked good. The arena looked good, but I was looking at the vision of ACN because I attended that event. And my mentor was on me. Like I got to the point where I was like trying to like ignore her calls, but I'm so glad that she got me to go, because what that was, that planted vision and that put ACN inside of me. And if you can look here, oh, let me go back. Sorry. Okay. So anyone can get an ACN, but when you get into the ACN environment, it gets into you. And that's what happened. I saw people from different Canada, from different countries that I've never been exposed to that before. I went to a historically black community, historically black college, North Carolina A&T, and I was, used to that. Used to seeing people like look like me. And then when I went to ACN, I saw all these different cultures and all these different languages, and people were just positive, and that's what happened. It got inside of me. And I say be resourceful. And I was like, it was not easy to get to the first event, right? So you just learn to be resourceful in this business. There's so many things I did to go to events that I can't even talk about. It's just so crazy. But I'll list this right here. You guys probably know him. This is Mr. James Atlam. I couldn't find my first regional, but my first regional event was in Atlanta, Georgia, and Mr. Atlam was the speaker. And I remember Mr. Burt getting on a call. See Mr. Burt, that's the old school Mr. Burt with the hair. But that was my first convention when I was actually chatting with Mr. Burt, and he was just finding out who I was. It was just very personable. But Mr. James Allen, the first regional, I remember Aaron had a call with us, and he said, "I don't care how you get there, just get there." And I'm like, well, how am I gonna get there? Because my team didn't necessarily want to go, and I was the only one really excited about building a business. So I'm like, I gotta go. But long story short, I caught a ride with somebody I had really just met because he needed somebody to drive him to Atlanta. And I'm like, well, I needed a ride to Atlanta. So it kind of worked out. And my friend thought I was absolutely crazy. But if you've ever heard Mr. James Atlam speak and do mindset, that's what locked me in. That's just what locked me in. And guess what? I haven't missed an event since. All right. So it got inside of me both of those times. I'm skipping stuff, so I'm getting excited. All right, so the next one is a commitment. So if you keep it up, it was 10 events. This one is C for commitment. And I have here stop stopping. I have to learn how to do this. Stop stopping and keep going even when people quit on you in the business. And long story short, because I don't want to keep us on the line a long time, I want to get to the rest of the information. This is my grandmother, and like I said, I was adopted, but this is my maternal grandmother. She passed away 2 years ago, and I love her absolutely to death. And I learned something, and I said the ultimate sorter. This is what I learned about her at her funeral. My grandmother passed away in her 80s, and somebody at her funeral, she never had a driver's license, and she would be at church. Somebody told a story. She would be at church, and she would go up to people and just ask them, "Are you going this way? Meaning, are you going this way towards my house?" And she just did that until she found somebody to take her home. And I'm like, she did that for years. And I'm like, my grandmother was the ultimate sorter because she took no and she went to the next person. Basically, I learned that about the business. And then I have here, this person right here, I look a lot like him because that's my birth father. I didn't know him because I was adopted, but he was well respected in my community as a business leader, a big time business leader. And he built a business. When he passed away, he had a 51-year-old business. And I learned something that I didn't even learn from him at his funeral from my brother-in-law, who said that that's the thing, Calvin told him to build your business slow and steady in order to reach for longevity. So even though, some people build fast, but my ultimate goal is to build something that's gonna live beyond me. And I know if you build it fast, it can do that too, but I want to build it steady and I want it to live long. So I learned that from him just because, like I said, he passed away and he had a 51-year business, very well respected in his area and his community. And that's one thing I wish I could have had that conversation with him about business. Okay. And then you need resilience, being uncomfortable. And I'll tell this quick story here. This picture right here, you see it's exciting, right? But I got on this iPad, but most people don't know why I really got those iPads and what I've had to do to get to a convention. What I had to do, that was in December. That was back before Zoom and before, we were doing everything virtual, where you had to buy the flight and get to the convention. And it was in December and it was kind of tough. So I used my mortgage that month to get to the convention. And it wasn't about really the iPads per se. It was like, I gotta do this because I gotta make the bonus so I can pay my mortgage. And people were like, oh, you got all the iPads. They don't even know that sometimes I would be pawning those iPads to get the money back. So it's, just to build my business. So that's some of the stuff I've had to do, or I've had to, be innovative with building. And it says, be uncomfortable. ACN had to do this during the pandemic. We had to adjust. And we're reaching the masses. We're growing bigger. That's why people are hitting RVP in 3 days, because everything is virtual. We're adapting through Zoom, and we've advanced and had enhanced compensation. We've launched new companies or countries, and we've partnered with new companies. And this is a quote right here, and I'll kind of go into this story at the bottom. It's going to be quick. If you can't get a seat at the in the room, at a table in the room, then it should say, then serve water in there. The point is to get in the room. So this, I don't know if Mrs. Burt remembers this, but Mrs. Burt, like she said, like she's not like, I'm not financially tied to her, but I'm financially tied to Mr. Burt. Well, then I guess I am financially tied to her. But anyway, Mrs. Burt had me when I got like, I don't know, some points. I got like 200 points or something like that. Or maybe it was 100, I'm not sure. But Mrs. Burt called me, or she sent me a message, and she was like, I want you to come. This is when she was, I believe she was on her SVP journey. And I'm sorry if the picture's blurry. I just kind of found it when I was searching through. But this was at the event where she had an exclusive leadership for her team. Now, Miss Burt wanted me to come. She wanted me to call and do a call, but I'm like, I need to be in the room. Mrs. Burt, I will come to the event, because I wanted to come. Mr. Burt couldn't even get in these events. So I'm like, I need to be at the event because I need the leadership. And that's how bad I wanted to get there. But, I went and created my value that she wanted, but my goal was to get in that room. And I didn't even have the money to get there. This is what I had to do. I called somebody, I got a buddy pass to fly there because I wanted to be there so bad to get the leadership. That's just something I had to do. Because like Mrs. Burt asking me to do a training and I'm not going to be there, like it was a given. And that was like the start of so much more, but it's just being resilient, not taking no for an answer, finding a way to get into the room. That's all you got to do. That was my ticket in the room. Why would I not go? I would have walked if I had to walk to that event. All right. And then we have integrity. And when we were just in an Emerge event in Dallas, and I actually had a chance to go to church to Bishop Jade's church that Sunday. And let me tell you, that sermon was called, and I put it here if you want to look it up, if you want a leadership conversation, it was called Road Rage. And when I tell you, this is what he said, there's a distinction between titles and leadership, because everybody's congratulations, we are regional coordinators. They created a new position that is so great. However, that's a title. You have to build and become the person behind the title. You know what I'm saying? So, and you do this from being integrity, having integrity with your business, letting the no build you, letting the yeses build your business. And I always tell people this. People are like, oh, Kirby, I love the way you do things. You're so honest and transparent about the business. Well, why wouldn't I be? I know the value of what I have. So why would I not be? You should be thanking me like I called my friend to thank Hermia for introducing me to the business. You should be thanking me for introducing you to the business. I know what I have. I know what I have that can free people. So it's nothing for me to be honest and transparent about, anyone can do this business, but not everyone will win. And that is by choice. That is simply by choice. This is the same opportunity. You have the same 24 hours as Mrs. Burt, Mr. Burt, any of these leaders on the call. We have the same 24 hours, the same opportunity, same comp plan. SVPs have a way better comp plan, but they started where we started. They just took it serious sooner. All right. And don't be afraid to share this opportunity. And I say here, I didn't know. Where did I get that from? Well, for those who know who Kanye West is, he has a Netflix special. It's super phenomenal for those who are into his story. But it was he was basically showing who his talent was, and was showing his journey, and he was showing people the talent he had. Everybody thought of him as a producer. Nobody knew him for his artistry, for who he was. And everybody he showed his music to, they just said, wow, I didn't know. So I look at ACN like that. People don't know if we don't tell them. I didn't know. You don't want people to come to you and say, I didn't know. Or if they don't support you and become your customer, you don't want them to say, I didn't know you needed me to support you because your mom has cancer, or because your kids need soccer shoes, or whatever your why is. And just don't be afraid to show. And this right here, this is Mr. Larry Raskins. For those who don't know him, you need to Google him. This man changed my whole life. This man I went back to school to get a leadership degree just because of some of the sessions I heard him talking about leadership, not because I needed it for ACN, but I wanted to become a better leader, and I wanted to learn as much as I could because of how he trains. And if you just look him up, or actually come see him at the convention, because he absolutely changed my entire mindset about leadership. And then faith, and I hope you're keeping up. This is capital F for faith, because we're gonna get to the word, the whole point of my topic. Faith or fear and faith can't live in the same place. And if you see right here, this is Mrs. Burke, and this is my business partner, my very first business partner, Latanya Chalmers. And she invited us to church with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went to church with the Burks. And when we went to church with them, they asked Mr. Burke who we were, and he said, that's my family. So this is way bigger than a business. Right here, this is at a convention where people are just surrounding one of our colleagues and praying for him. So that's the kind of business we're in. So why would you not want to get people, as many people, to feel the environment, to feel what we have here? So let's go to the next one. Independence. Own your own business. I have OY, it should be OYOB, but OYB. Own your own business. It's about being independent business owner. My direct mentor, Mrs. Nickerberry, doesn't live in my marketplace. I live in my marketplace. So if I was going to win, it was up for me to do it. Here I am, back then it was an ETL. I'm on stages. I'm the DJ at the event. I'm taking money at the door for the event. I'm presenting at the event. I'm getting guests to the event. I'm pulling, I had to do what I had to do to grow my business, because if it's up to me, or if it's to be, it's up to me, right? And I have this quote here: you can't do the next thing without embracing the now thing. And what I meant by that is, it's exciting that we've gotten promoted, right, to the next position, but you got to embrace where you're at in that position before you can move to the next position, because you have to be grateful for where you are and thankful for where you're going. You know what I'm saying? So flourish where you are, and in your journey, you'll become who you need to be to go into the next position. And then we have connect, and I have some pictures here. And this is what we do at the events. I don't know if you know this man right here, or if you know this man right here, or if you know this lady right here, or this man. These are leaders. This is where you want to break bread with the winners. You just want to do that. You want to position yourself. This is Mr. Oren Solomon. I'm having a conversation with him and in the airport, So this is what you get when you go to the conventions. You're sitting with the VIPs. These are legends in the business. This is what happens when you grow. You grow and you get to know what you're a part of. And okay. So connect, like I said, build relationships, join organizations, meet with like-minded people. The people that you will earn the most money with in this business, you have not even met yet. They're strangers. Don't matter. No support, no problem. I've been there. That's what I did. I stopped asking people that I know, and I started attracting people that I didn't know. That's all I did. People are watching to see you fail, or they just watching to see how long it takes you to succeed. These are people that typically, when the first thing they see you, they ask, how's business? They don't even address you. They say, how's business? Because they want to see if you quit. But guess what you got to do? You got to keep going, because any business is going to be tough. but you got to persevere. And that's a part of building business. If this was easy, everyone would do it. Like I said, anyone can get an IBO number, but everybody won't succeed. Okay. And like I said, that's a quote there. I'm gonna kind of keep going, but some people will support others, but won't support you because it's you. All right. So just understand that, and understand that everybody won't necessarily support you, and be okay with that, because you're gonna do this for you and not for the general population. All right. All right, let's go to the next one. And the last letter is elevate, or E for elevate. And I have a Bible verse here. And he will be like the tree planted by the rivers of water that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever doeth shall prosper. So what I'm saying here, or what they're saying in the Bible is, plant your trees. You know what I'm saying? This is a picture I put. I think it kind of is a good illustration. This is the value of one tree. That's one seed. Imagine that being one person that you show the business, and this is what they bring into your business. So guess what you got to do? You got to keep sowing seeds, because maybe it's not your season to prosper because you haven't planted any seeds. All right. Attending this event, or this next event, for those who find it safe to do so. And when I say safe, I mean safe like going to the grocery store. I mean safe like going to concerts. I mean safe like going out to parties and venues like most people are doing. And safe to go to the grocery. You're not going to the grocery store because of COVID. You put a mask on and go. So what I'm saying is, attending this event will allow you to take those seeds that you have planted, which are exposures, and will allow you to bring forth a harvest. So the people that go in this first quarter will live off of those seeds from 2022 and beyond. And I'm not just saying that just to say it. I'm saying it because I've lived it with my business. I teach what I've learned. You know what I'm saying? So let's go to the last one. I'm gonna finish up. And the word that I was talking about, if you were taking notes, is sacrifice. Sacrifice causes pressure. It is not easy. All right, here's the last quote I'm gonna talk. I needed to be broke so I could learn how to budget. I needed to be treated badly so I could appreciate being treated great. I needed to have jobs that I hated so that I could work to do what I love. I had to stray from God so I could understand there's nothing better. I needed ACN so that I could see that freedom was possible. If you desire to win here, then you deserve to. If you don't, then you won't. Don't overthink this opportunity. Overthinkers work their way out of God's will for their life. And then this is a quote right here. It says, I am. There's a song by Donald Lawrence. It's called the I Am Factor. And it says, there's a preacher in there, and he says, whatever follows I am follows you. So if you say I am broke, then guess what? Everything, your car is going to break down. Everything surrounding being broke is going to follow you. But if you say I am SVP, then guess what? You will be like a Chanel Burt on the spine, because she said it and that she did it. You know what I'm saying? She used to have us do this. I wouldn't say it at first because I didn't believe it until I saw her do it. Then I believed it. Then I started to say it. And then everybody was like, I went to the event in Atlanta and I had shoes with words of affirmation. I wish I had them in here, but they had words on the shoes. I am phenomenal. They had words. People were going crazy about those shoes, but I'm like, I'm walking in my authority. That's why I wore those shoes. All right. And then this is the last, this is how it's going. Like I said, it's not how fast you go, it's the person you come along the journey. Anyone can build this business, but true champions will sustain it. You ever went to school or went to college orientation, they said, look to the person to your left, look to the person to your right. They may not be here. Well, that's ACN. But guess what? You'll be here a year from now. I've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people. I've seen people quit. But guess what? I kept going. Don't be afraid of success or the responsibility that comes along with it. I will admit I was afraid, because it's work to build this business. You can't be afraid of it. You got to go and embrace it, because that's a part of what we do. And there are two things for sure. Life will absolutely happen and people will absolutely quit, but just don't you quit and keep going forward. Up next, SVP-In Progress. Thank you so much, Mrs. Burt, for this opportunity. I hope that somebody got some value from what I shared today. And I'm just looking forward to going to this event and seeing everybody in OKC.
Wow, wow, wow. I don't even know what to say. I mean, listen, I know you said that you have been taking notes so that you could be able to deliver on this call, but you were absolutely fire. Like, you are awesome. SVP-In Progress, man. Can all of us agree that the paperwork, we're just waiting for the paperwork to catch up with her? Like, you are phenomenal. You are phenomenal. I mean, we're just waiting for you to, I can't wait to see the people that come into your organization with who you are today. You may not have been ready. Like you said, I've planted my seeds and now I'm ready for my harvest. Like, you may not have been ready for RVPs to join your business before, but you are ready now. You are ready to lead them because of the leader that you are today. So, and what a great promotion of events call that we have before Oklahoma City. You promoted events like no other. And I know you, so it might sound like I'm a little biased, but you are awesome. I mean, awesome. Like, I don't get to work with her. I don't do meetings for her. I don't do any of that. Like, I know her because she's a part of Coalition, and I know she's phenomenal, but you brought it today. You were ready today. So when we say, look, stay ready so you don't have to get ready, you were ready for this call today. I could have called you an hour ago. You would have been ready for this call today. So for all of the regional coordinators that get on this call, I like to have someone else speak to them because I don't want it to just be me. And I know Miss Ines Volonino is on here, another phenomenal woman in ACN. She has heard this entire call. And I just want her to be able to share some things with you, as we just, give feedback about this call. Like, the RCs that have been on here have been phenomenal. Like, you guys are just so awesome. So, Ms. Volonino, thanks so much for being on here tonight.
Thank you for the invite, Miss Chanel Burt. Hello, good evening, everybody. And listen, I was listening and I was thinking, man, I need to know where to find Kirby's. I don't know where to find them, but this one is a real precious one. I mean, think about it, RC, and congratulations, by the way, Kirby, because I know that you really deserve to be hired, even higher than that, because you're on the SVP process, that's for sure. I mean, the posture that you have, the strength, your words, your confidence, you know what you're talking about. That means that you went through a lot of no's that built yourself. And through the process, you built your business with all the yeses. So you strengthen yourself and you give us so much strength. I can tell you this. I mean, oh my God, I want to find other Kirby's like you, or I want to be sponsored by you. I don't know how many people you are working with, but I can tell you all those people, they are so, so lucky to learn from somebody like you. And, I feel honored to be able to listen to your testimonial. By the way, thank you, because I know that you talked about some personal stuff. And it's not easy. It's not easy. But you know what? This business is all about emotions. And you knew how to touch everybody's emotion tonight. Don't you agree? Hello?
Oh, look.
Yes.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
So, Kirby, you are, I don't know what to say. You've been promoting this call. I know that today we had an RCN above call to promote the Oklahoma events. You promoted you did it perfectly. I'm sure that everybody on this call know and understand and can feel that the moment is there. The entire point that your career with that business, your future, whatever your goal is with that business, you're gonna reach that goal sooner being in Oklahoma. And those events, listen, they told us, the owners told us themselves, they said that we never leave, such an event like we're gonna live in Oklahoma. And I'm excited about that because you know what, for all the people who attended, nationals with ACN, we all know that this is the highest level of belief, where to catch vision, where to understand what we are doing, why we are doing it, the excitement that we are looking for sometimes because we lose it for, instead of being focused, we are focused on other things. This is called life, right? So when we catch that vision, we understand all the trainings. We understand that ACN is still expanding, not only in the world, but even in our country. I can tell you those nationals, we would never be the leaders that we are without those events. And you know what excites me the most? Is I know that on this call, some people never attended live events like the ACN National. And you don't know what you don't know. You never experienced that. I don't know if you've been, a soccer player or, super famous person. I can tell you, ACN events are so unique that I promise you, listen, I know that, there are a lot of witnesses tonight. How many are we? 261, okay? So I'm gonna say something and you are all witnessing this. I promise you from the bottom of my heart, this event in Oklahoma will change the entire, not only business, not only career, not only vision, but, your legacy. I can tell you this because there is no way in the world that somebody attended the ACN event and wasn't excited beyond belief. And that excitement, we will do something with it, take actions and get better results than never before. On the RCN above call today, we heard some testimonials from, people coming over, ACN from Team National, our, new family. And some people, they've been around network marketing for 30 years. I heard that today, and I can tell you I was so excited, and I was glad to hear that. One of them talked about his story, 30 years in network marketing with Team National. You know what he said? He said, I never had such results within 30 years than with ACN in my first month. So sometimes we take everything for granted. We think that we know everything, but as we don't know what we don't know, I can tell you, you never experienced ACN events. That's exactly what you need. Nothing else. Nothing else. I know sometimes, you need to do sacrifices. You need, organization for your kids. You need to find a nanny. Maybe, it's a long trip. You need to organize yourself financially, okay, to be able to leave for 2 days, to leave your home, to leave your kids, your family for 2 days. But you know what? You need to show God that you deserve it. Sometimes we need to do sacrifices to get what we deserve. There is nothing we deserve if we don't sacrifice something. And it's not a big sacrifice because you know what? All the moms on this call, you're gonna say, oh gosh, it feels good to be, away from my kids just for a few hours, Come on, this is true. We love them, but still, in the weekend with all the ACN environment, the positive, the everything, for all the people who never attended it, you need to be there. Seriously. My entire business changed. My first national, I was in France. I went to Netherlands to attend my first national. I started 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before. And because I brought some people with me, I was the first time. I'd never been in Netherlands before the ACN National. I went there and I took, I was driving a van. I rented a van to get 7 people with me. So it was like the unknown, okay? And we went there and I can believe me, I learned so much. You're gonna earn 6 months, maybe a year, you're gonna be ahead of, in your business, because you're going to learn 6 months or a year of knowledge just within a weekend. And I can tell you, of course, the results will be better. And by going there for the first time, I was a single mom of 2. Of course, I made some sacrifices. Okay. I took 7 people with me. Where are we going? I don't know. Okay, but let's go. We need to go. That's my understanding. I went there. And within 4 months, we've been able to build, almost a team of almost 500 people just because of nationals. I can tell you, build your business from that event and make sure you bring some people with you. Because another promise, you go there and with everything you're going to hear, everything you're going to, attend, everything you're going to feel, I can promise you, even you bring 10 people with you, 20 people with you, 30 people with you, or 1 person with you, you're going to say the same thing. We all say the same thing. Oh, God, I wish I brought more people with me. That's for sure. And for all the people who attended, know about the ACN National, this one is different. You know that because we have some announcement coming. You need to be there.
We can't tell them about the announcements. We can't tell them nothing about the event. We just got to make sure they're there.
Of course. Listen, if you talk about the movie, promoting a movie, nobody is going to watch.
Right, exactly.
Okay. But here's the thing. You need to be there. That's for sure. You need to be there.
And that's what Kirby was talking about. Like her business, her everything is because of these events. And so Kirby, what's going to happen with you from this event? Like, I don't know. Like, as phenomenal as you were tonight, I don't know what else can be poured into you. There are some people that need no more training. There's just some people that need no more training, and you're one of them. It's just a matter of you just finding the people that are looking for you because you're ready. You're ready. Thank you so much, Ines, for being on and just sharing those words with her, because I know it's great to hear from me, but to hear from someone else on the call, especially all of the regional coordinators, it's just so awesome for you to have all different influencers on the call that can talk to you. And I can't wait for you guys to see each other in Oklahoma City. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ines. I'm gonna remove you from the spotlight really quick, but thank you guys, for joining us tonight. Kirby, you seem speechless, but man.
I'm just glad to have been on. I just hope that somebody was impacted from the story, just from the stories and these events. I didn't even go into details and the sacrifices I made, because I didn't want to get emotional, but I've been to events where my second event, my second national in Charlotte, I found out 2 days before my uncle committed suicide, and I had people people were, that month we had a big month. We had a big, like 19 people doing the business in December. And then I was like, my business partner was with me and I'm like, I need to be there. She's the only one that knew. And I was hurting so bad inside, but I'm like, I gotta be there because my team needed to see me there. you know, but I went, even though I didn't feel like I wanted to be there, but I went because my team was expecting me to be there. You know, there's just one sacrifice. But because I went, I came back, my team produced. You know what I'm saying? I could have said, oh, I'm going through so much, I don't want to go. But you always persevere. When you initiate your faith, God will blow your mind. And that's what he did. And that's what kept me. I didn't let what was happening in my personal life affect me, because I know what he would have told me to do. He would have told me to keep pressing on. Nobody knew that but Tanya, but my friend Tanya. And I was sitting there at that convention and I'm like trying to hold back tears, but I'm like, I'm gonna keep doing it anyway, you know. But you just gotta persevere in this business. It taught me that I came back, I didn't even go into this, but I came back to, I didn't ever leave God, but I wasn't going to church like I should have been. I was like not in like I should have been. I went to an event, one of our regionals, and Mr. Span's wife, she's prayed for me. And do you know that that's what I came back to church through a business event. When I went to get prayed for at my church, they said, I was just praying for a closer relationship with God. He said, you might get that feeling, you might feel, you know, the Holy Spirit move, but it might not even be here. Do you know that that happened at an ACN event? Mr. Span's wife. And I'm renewed because of this business. It's so much bigger than money. If I don't get another dime from ACN, I became a different person. The tools I've learned from the business has allowed me to launch other businesses. Not having to go get a business degree, but just from the principles I've learned in the mentorship. That's what this business is. And if you can't see it for yourself, it's like going, like, we do online church, but I need to be at church. You know what I'm saying? Like you can see it online, but when you're in there, when you're in the atmosphere of ACN and the leaders, something gets inside of you and you're just like bulletproof, you know? I just can't promote it any more than if you don't go, then who loses? If Mr. Burt hadn't went to his first event, none of us would be here in coalition.
Right. Right.
So,
like we think about that all the time. Just your decision, how your decision will change the lives of so many. Man, you are awesome. And I know we have gone over, but you are awesome. And you promoting this event, I'm going to tell ACN, like, you have to listen to this call because she has promoted this event so well. She did a promoting events training so well, you know, and then Ines talked about the event. We're talking about the events, how events change your life. So I know I'm going to post the recording as soon as I can possibly post it. So y'all don't have to reaching out to me, but thank you. Thank you for being on this call. You are so awesome. I mean, we've heard her do a customer training, you know, she presents, she does all this stuff, but the woman winning call is something completely different. And you were phenomenal tonight. So thank you all of you for logging in, for all of you, over 200 something people still logged on. Thank you. And this is the Women Winning Wednesday call. You have no idea what you're going to see, what you're going to hear. That will absolutely change everything for you. So you can still register for convention. You can still get a flight, still get a room, pack people in the room if you need to. But it's going to be transformational. And I can't wait to see the new leaders that come out of that event. So enjoy the rest of your night, everyone. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay healthy. And we'll look forward to seeing you next Wednesday on our Women Winning Wednesday night call. Have a great night.
thank you, Ms. Bird.